The Illinois State House continues their action today, and one of the things that they've got to tackle, of course, is the Illinois state budgets, and we've been talking about that most of the morning and just where exactly we're at with this budget process. Video that was posted by Senate Republican Dan McConkey. He posted this on Instagram last night, and it's kind of fascinating to see, what's going on here. And this again is posted. It shows a timestamp of 10:22 and a stack in front of the Senate Republican. Here he is getting a stack of papers from his staff. And go.
Just the budget.
We don't have the budget implementation bill?
No.
How many pages is this? Was this like 3,500 pages?
3,500.
Okay, everybody. So this is the budget. This just says how much money we're going to spend here in Illinois in the upcoming year, which we're told is going to be about $50 billion. Billion with a B, okay? But this, we have to go through. We have to read this tonight, but yet we don't have yet the budget implementation bill, and that bill is probably going to be a similar size stack, and it's going to say how that money gets spent. This is just how crazy Springfield is. We have a few hours to go through 3,500 pages, and then another couple thousand pages to say how it will be spent. This is the ridiculousness that is Springfield, Illinois, right now.
So, the Senate Republican there sharing his thoughts of just how absurd this is, that they're getting a budget this late, and what exactly they're going to do with it, and how taxpayers still really don't know what's going on. But something else, too, that lawmakers have yet to fully address: pensions, of course, any kind of reform there. The Invest in Kids Scholarship Program, any kind of reform there. But ethics, another issue. And Governor J.B. Pritzker was asked about this yesterday, and he had this to say about ethics when it comes to exactly how the legislature is going to address ethical issues within the state legislature. Here's the governor yesterday.
Well, I think first thing I'd point out is everybody that's been tried and now convicted is being tried and convicted on laws that are already on the books. So, there are things that we've done to tighten up our ethics laws in Illinois. There's always should be an effort to look at and tighten whatever we can to make our ethics laws more, appropriate, applicable. And I think that there is, as I have seen, an effort to address red light camera contributions. So that's yet another thing that will be done to tighten up on our ethics laws.
So, again, the governor talking about ethics concerns and how even after the ComEd 4 trial produced guilty verdicts across the board for those who were involved in what federal prosecutors say was a nearly decade-long bribery scheme involving former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan to get his associates little-to-do-nothing jobs in exchange for favorable legislation for utility Commonwealth Edison. We seen any ethics reforms at the State House to address that specifically? Not necessarily. In the Illinois Senate late on Friday, one of the last bills they ended up passing out of the Senate on Friday was indeed about ethics, but not necessarily directly associated with the utility. Instead, they dealt with ethics concerning red light cameras. So here's how some of that debate went on the Senate floor, with a measure to bring about some ethical changes and just really technical changes to how the state regulates the issue of red light cameras. Here is State Senator Laura Murphy with her bill that would ultimately bring about some changes.
To address some ongoing concerns pertaining to the automated law enforcement systems, including red light and speed cameras. This bill will establish ethical parameters and guidelines to protect and to provide direction to both automated traffic enforcement companies and state and local elected officials. So specifically, there's several provisions in this bill, and it will prohibit contractors who provide equipment and services for automated law enforcement, automated speed enforcement, or automated railroad grade crossing enforcement systems to municipalities or counties, or any political action committee created by such a contractor and their affiliates from making campaign contributions. It requires that determination to issue a citation be vested solely within the municipality or the county, and that that authority may not be delegated to any contractor. Provides that any contract or agreement violating such a provision in the ordinance would be null and void. It requires signage to inform drivers following a stop, a right turn on an intersection is permitted or not, and where an automated traffic law enforcement system is present. Prohibits a county or municipality from changing the interval of yellow light in the 6 months before installing an automated system. Requires safety studies to be conducted within 1 year after passage of this act and every 2 years thereafter. Provides that no member of the General Assembly and no officer or employee of a municipality or county shall knowingly accept employment or receive compensation or fees for services from a contractor that provides automated enforcement system equipment or services to municipalities or counties within 2 years immediately after the termination of a municipal or county employment.
So
it requires that when a municipality or county who selects a new automated traffic law enforcement system vendor and applies to IDOT, that IDOT must approve or deny the application within 90 days of receiving the application. Provides the department the authority to revoke any permit, approval, or other authorization to a county or municipality if any official or employee who serves that county or municipality is charged with bribery, official misconduct, or a similar crime related to the placement, installation, or operation of an automated traffic law enforcement system. It provides that if an automated traffic law enforcement system is removed or rendered inoperable due to construction, that it's restored within 30 days after the construction is complete, and that provides the department with rulemaking authority to revocation. There is still nothing in this bill that mandates any municipality to install a red light camera, and I'm unaware of any opposition, and I would entertain any questions.
So, again, buried deep in this broad bill are some ethical considerations, like saying, hey, campaign contributions can't be made from a red light camera vendor to a elected official, be it local or state, and that's going to be, of course, challenged for questions of First Amendment violations, but also the revolving door of former elected officials going and working for the red light camera industry. But that's tucked in with a whole bunch of other regulations on the red light camera industry. We'll hear from Senate Republican Jill Tracy here in a moment, but a phone call. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Was that just a synopsis of the bill?
Yes. Jack,
I mean,
that was not the potentially. I haven't seen how many pages that bill is, but just that synopsis is likely hundreds and hundreds of pages.
The synopsis itself was like 4 pages long.
Yeah.
Wow, that's horrible. I mean, and how much? Well, and you said this year alone, the Senate and the House passed what, 500?
Yeah, my last count was more than 500 bills, and that's comparable to last year. They passed about 600 bills, but they're still in session, so who knows how many dozens of bills they still have yet to pass.
And yet a budget is still nowhere in sight,
Nowhere in sight. Well, I guess
Yeah.
it is in sight, but the site is 3,500 pages, a stack of, I don't even know how to equate that, like 3 foot of paper, a tower
Right,
of paper.
exactly.
So they got that last night late. They
it's
got that at about
basically
10:30 last night.
So the bill, the budget is the synopsis of this last bill, right? I mean,
It's pretty incredible. Hey, I appreciate the call. Let's take another one here. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Every time you mention Michael Madigan, it's almost as if he was the only criminal in the State House. What are the names of these people that were involved in this traffic light corruption? Why aren't their names being mentioned instead of Michael Madigan's constantly.
Well, Madigan, I think, gets mentioned because he was the longest-serving state house speaker in the nation's history. He was in the Illinois legislature for 50 years, and he was also the chairman of the Democratic Party of Illinois, directing how party funds are used and allegedly being involved in corruption. And wasn't just Madigan. You had former State Senator Martin Sandoval that was charged with red light camera bribery, and he pleaded guilty to those charges and worked with law enforcement, but ultimately, I believe, passed away because of COVID during the pandemic. You have Louis Arroyo taking bribes to deal with sweepstakes companies. You've got State Senator Terry Link that had some tax evasion charges. You've got State Senator Tom Cullerton who faced embezzlement charges. I mean, you want me to go on?
Yeah, well, the only difference is Mike Madigan led a gang. It's just like the Crips and the Bloods. When the leader's taken out, somebody else steps forward. That's not the pinpoint of what's being done here.
Well, and that's, I think, what the Republicans are upset about is this kind of piecemeal approach instead of really going after the issue. I appreciate the call, 217-629-7970. Good morning.
Hey, Greg, you just told me Rauner's no longer around. Either is Madigan. Use your same analogy. Have a good day.
All right, Madigan's still around. He faces 22 charges in the ComEd corruption case, so that's going to be all over the news in a year. Hopefully you can tolerate that. But it's not just there. He also got charged in the AT&T case, so he faces an additional charge there. So, again, news is going to pop out of there, and hopefully you can tolerate hearing Mike Madigan's name over and over again. I don't think Rauner's faced any charges. He's not in court right now. He's retired and I think living in Florida. And he'll be in Springfield, next month to unveil his gubernatorial portrait. But, all right, I understand, whatever sensibilities hearing Mike Madigan's name. I don't know why people are frustrated by that, but it's important to reflect on what federal prosecutors ultimately have alleged and proven in court, at least in the ComEd 4 case. All right, let's hear from State Senator Jill Tracy about the need for more ethics reforms. That's not really happening at the Illinois State House.
We have a lot of issues of corruption and needed ethics reforms in other areas that have led to abuses of public official power and have created ethics issues and criminal violations as well. I know that our Ethics Commission and our Legislative Inspector General have sent the leaders of the legislature several areas that they think need to be addressed, and I'm hopeful that with us going into next week, we still have time to bring a better ethics reform package and to make the changes that are needed and recognized as glaring conflicts within our ethics laws that are apparent to our legislative ethics Commission.
And some of the things that Republicans have been pushing for is to give the Legislative Inspector General the authority to subpoena and independently investigate claims of corruption. That is not advanced. And other efforts, and this might disturb the sensibilities of people who don't like hearing Mike Madigan's name. The House wants to change the House rules because while Madigan's not still there, a lot of the Madigan-era House rules remain and still gives substantial amount of power to the current House Speaker. And Republicans want to make sure to take that power or dilute that power to make sure that we have true hearings on bills that are being considered at the Illinois State House. So a lot of things still not being done when it comes to ethics, but some things are when it comes to, the red light camera stuff.